So my name is Johan Oldekop, and I'm a reader in environment and development at the Global Development Institute. I've been here for about 5 and a bit years. I came in 2018. So I focus on forests and livelihoods, and in particular trying to understand the kinds of policies and interventions and social processes that lead to better outcomes for people in the environment, mostly in tropical and subtropical forest landscapes. So I grew up in South America and spent much of my time in the summers visiting, wild and remote places. And I think that was really instrumental in shaping my appreciation of the natural world. But of course, nature doesn't exist in a vacuum. These are human-dominated landscapes almost everywhere in the world. And so if we really want to try and address the environmental problems, we have to understand what drives environmental problems and try and address the solutions at the root cause, which often have to deal with issues of disenfranchisement, power, economic development, and those things are really at the core of some of the issues that we need to address in order to make a change to the natural world and conserve and restore places that are vanishing. So I currently lead a large long-term research program on reforestation and the effect that different drivers of reforestation, which could be decentralization policies like community forests or protected areas, have on forests and the people that live in or close to them. So the Sustainable Forest Transitions Project is a 5-year research program, and it's funded by UKRI and was selected by the European Research Council. And it's focusing on drivers of reforestation and their impacts on forests and people. And we've started working in Mexico, Brazil, India, Nepal, and now we're working in Indonesia as well. And it's possible that we also expand to some other countries. I think we've got a really great team who are fun to work with and really engaged and dedicated to some of these ideas and to making a change. So we've just had a paper accepted in Nature, Ecology and Evolution, which focuses on protected areas and indigenous territories in the Brazilian Amazon. And that's looking specifically at both the effects that these protected areas and indigenous territories have had on deforestation and on indicators of socioeconomic development. So most of my work is very applied. It focuses on trying to understand the impacts of these different drivers of change in forest landscapes. And so the greatest impact is trying to identify the kinds of pathways that lead to better outcomes for people in forests. And if we can communicate some of that to different decision makers or donors, then we can perhaps shape the way in which different things are done on the ground. And I think in particular, trying to highlight what works and what doesn't work. I think those are equally important. Much of academia focuses on trying to understand what does work, but equally knowing what hasn't worked is just as important. So I'm on Twitter and on LinkedIn. I tend to repost other people's brilliant ideas, but you can subscribe to the newsletter of the Sustainable Forest Transitions Project, and that will tell you what we've been up to.